So this is a teachable moment. You learn certain things in life, right? And you have to learn to trust your own understanding as well as not trust it. However, this is something I've learned. When I lived in a tent camp in Allen Park 3 years ago, every morning this man who dressed like a woman and acted like a woman and wore makeup, it was definitely a man named Coco, would scream out at around 2 in the morning. Most people in the camp, everybody in the camp would wake up. A scooter would come into the camp. This is a whole park, Allen Park at O and New Jersey Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C., across from Dunbar High School. And then everybody would do drugs, and then they'd go back to sleep in about 45 minutes before 3 o'clock. And then you have the witching hour, which is said to be at 3 o'clock. And we associate with witches women of magic who don't go with the Pope. So the witching hour is at 3 o'clock. Then the warrior's hour is at 4 o'clock, when warriors wake up and start to prepare for the day. 4 o'clock is also the time when people in jails and prisons eat breakfast. If you're incarcerated, you eat breakfast at 4 o'clock. I'm guessing in the military, you also eat at 4 o'clock in the morning. And so that right there will tell you the basic schedule of our planet and of the global mass mind rape is what Zach De La Rocha of Rage Against the Machine calls it, the mass mind rape. And it involves a network of magic people who implant fake memories and fake dreams either in individuals or in a section of society. It's a network of people that's been developed over thousands of years, and it's worldwide. So at 2 a.m. is the hour when you wake up the drug addicts. And they just start to wake up, and then drug addicts will always wake up around 2 in the morning to get their drugs. And I don't mean flowers, I mean hard fucking drugs. The kinds that ruin communities, ruin individual lives, destroy families, and cause all the chaos, death, and murder and slavery that's around us. And these are pharmaceutical drugs. Sometimes they call it medication and give it to children, and then when they get into high school or college, their friends want to borrow it or buy it, and they realize it's a party drug, not a medication, if they don't learn it beforehand. And then you have around the time between 5:30 and 6 a.m., which is also the time for the street gangs to switch up. So if you have one of those common noises in your area, the same time between about 5:30 and 6 a.m. every day, that's like, ah! Like a motorcycle revving or loud engines, like it could be construction noises, but it's usually some sort of a loud noise, either from a vehicle driving through the area or someone playing the loud noise out of a speaker out of their window in their neighborhood, and that's real too. And that signals the shift change time of 6 a.m. for the street people who sit on the corners and every other place. That's the basic schedule for how this evil Babylon system works in the morning time, with people waking up and magic and drugs and a bunch of weird shit and military and prisons. And it's all tied together with these hours. And so that's called a teachable moment. I always videotape horizontal. I videotape this one vertical. I'm no longer posting on my channel Vizdos TV. Get it? Vizdos TV, silent H, Vizdos. Vizdos TV is done as a piece of art. I'm moving on to a new channel, and I'm going to be more focused on keeping it organized and to make sense, rather than Vizdos TV, which is completely nuts. It's not organized. There's so many different types of content, and there's so much variety, and the topics are so different, and it's so strange, honestly. The TV channel I made with over 600 videos and barely any followers, and I don't monetize it, but I'm gonna try and figure that out, because I have to figure out how to make money. And or to earn money, I should say. I don't make money. That's what the government and the Federal Reserve do. They make money. As people, we have to earn our money. And so I was just awakened this morning around 2 o'clock. I have a roommate, let's just call him M, and if you're in this situation, you know who M is. He moved in, everything was good. The other two roommates have moved out. Then roommate so-called R, and I'm using different initials, but if you look at them, you'll know. R moves in, all of a sudden M's not doing as well. Now they be waking up, keeping up all hours, and they roommates in the next room, and they just left. And it's like before 6 a.m. And but they woke me up around 2 o'clock, clunking around, making noises, and making a lot of noises actually, to the point that I made some live videos on Instagram and Facebook just because I can't complain about people in this situation. Everybody's having a tough time in these transitional homeless housings and stuff, except for the fact that I don't think it's just homeless people. I think this is also transitional housing for returning citizens and other at-risk populations. So who knows, but I don't do drugs. I don't appreciate people that clunk around and slam doors at 2 in the morning until 3:30 in the morning making noises. And then by the time it's time, after laying here and making these stupid videos, then I get up and I make my prayers and I take a shower, and I have no respect for people who don't have common courtesy, and then waking me up with the slamming of doors and the making of noises and this weird ringtone that sounded like dude had a beeper. I mean, come on. So I'm not sure what they think is going on around here or what they think that is okay. There was also a large candle in the bathroom that was burnt. You're not supposed to burn candles in here, incense, smoke, nothing, not inside. So what do? I teach people about the time frames and what goes on in the world. You can look around yourself, you can look around people, see what numbers they use, what words they say, and you can actually figure out who they are, what they represent, and all the things they do without even really listening to what they say. If you know their basic schedules or basic numbers or basic concepts, you can often tie them into one group or another of society. And if you tie them into a negative, bad group, it's what's called toxic people, and you walk away. And the weird thing about that is this. 2 people just left. I watched 2 people just leave out the door while I started making the video. But then someone emerged from the bedroom, meaning that there was more than 2 people in here last night. Meaning my roommates are having guests. And that's fucked up. And that's why I don't like having a place where I don't have a key to my door or a key to my apartment. And I have documents in here. I'm gonna have to carry them with me from now on. My pertinent documents. The purpose of getting indoors is for security and stability, not to be freaked out by roommates and what they do. So now, I'm gonna head into Washington, D.C., which is right outside the window here, and go do what I have to do here. Because the world's not gonna fix itself, is it? And we have to fix the world as adults for all the children, so that we don't have millions and millions and millions of more people like me and my roommates who are left high and dry by society to fend for ourselves and hurt. And in some cases, people fall down and start hurting the community. And in some cases, people stand up and help themselves and help others. And in some cases, people have just had a very tough life and are mentally ill, which is my situation. And I don't mean tough life like a child digging through trash in Rio de Janeiro or in Bangladesh or in Myanmar. Those children have the worst lives of all. How about Gaza? How about right now in Gaza? So I hold it tight and keep it together because we have to change the planet and fix it. If you've always turned away or turned off the really sad news, don't. Watch the news. It gets worse. Life, unless we make it better, it's going to get worse. We have to make it better for everyone. And that's called a teachable moment. Yeah. And I do that thing called shining. I shine. And I shine as much as I'm able to let it out. And it scares some people. That's okay. I don't mean to scare anyone. In fact, most people scare me. And that's why I want to change the world, so we don't have to live in a scary world. And who makes the laws? Congress. So let's go, folks. Let's go to Congress. Let's give them some teachable moments about who we are, the people of the world, and that we need assistance from our government and not lies, manipulation, and debt and drugs. We don't need drugs, we don't need lies, we don't need manipulation, we don't need debt from our government. And that, my friends, is why, that is why. That lady right there, right there in the side, she once approached me when I was at the White House Peace Vigil living out there all those months. She came up to me and said, "I'm State Department," and started trying to ask me some questions. And then the first week that I came into the Capitol Dome, she's one of the people from that crowd that showed up to sit in the gallery with me and observe me. I don't know if she works for the government or who, but whatever. Washington, D.C., gotta love it. I'm gonna go inside, but as a visitor, I'm not allowed to go in the front doors because I'm not that important. I have to go down here. Everybody else. That's correct. Gotta go down here with everybody else. But think about this. In some nations, you can't do this at all. So we have to make sure that we protect this place and make it better and better and better. I've often said I hate this world, but I always keep forgetting to say that's why I want to make it better for everyone. So that's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. Hating this world and making it better. That's what's going on in my mind. I don't know what these people are doing. Apparently they're taking all our money and making bombs and shit and committing mass murder and genocide with our money and doing it in the name of freedom. For the United States, a flag that has 7 red stripes of blood on it. And that's true as fuck. That's real. That's what those stripes represent. You know what they used to do to you when you're a bad person on the plantation or on the farm? Put stripes on you. Unfortunately, that's the truth. So we have to make it a better place. And we can do that. That's the Supreme Court right up there. That's where they say yay or nay when there's a big problem with justice in this country. That's all right, though. That's the
Capitol Dome. That's where Congress
votes yes or no on our federal legislation. That's how we change the world. Anybody with me? So hard to get a shot of the Capitol Dome in focus. The fuck? And this is love worldwide from DC Hardcore. This is Nathaniel Shellhaze Vizdos. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Aye!